right, let's welcome tonight's guest. He's so big, he uses a redwood as a toothpick. TNA wrestler Tyrus in a jacket. Thank you, Tyrus. And she's so bright, you must wear sunscreen in her presence. It's Kennedy, host of Kennedy and the Fox Business Network. If bravery were sand, he'd be the Gobi Desert. Former U.S. Marines bomb technician, Sergeant Joey Jones. She takes her coffee like her mood black. National Review's Catherine Timpf, and he's so sharp. He's over 50 feet of a waterbed. Guy Benson, townhall.com, political editor, Fox News contributor. But first, all right. It was the week of the candid candidates. First, Hillary Clinton, the master at saying two wrong things in one single soundbite.
Donald's been all over the place on ISIS. He's talked about sending ground troops, American ground troops. Well, that is off the table as far as I am concerned.
Oh, impressive that she was able to pack 4,000 pounds of wrong into that tiny little suitcase of stupidity. Let's unpack this crap. First of all, we already have troops fighting ISIS. There's not a lot of them there, but they're there. Why doesn't she know that? Maybe it's in her emails. Even worse, why in God's name is she telling the enemy what we aren't willing to do? She just took something off the table before we've even sat down to eat. Why have a damn table at all if you aren't leaving anything on it? But in one sentence, Hillary declared a pre-surrender. Imagine doing this in sports. Clayton Kershaw letting everyone know he'll be leaving his fastball at home. Tom Brady announcing he'll be running the ball from now on. A synchronized swimmer promising only vertical descents and no Catalina rotations. No Catalina rotations. Are you nuts? Meanwhile, Donald Trump had his first security briefing. I know this because he live tweeted it. I kid. My point is, these are unsafe times. Do you want a president who not only doesn't know what's going on, but also tells our enemies what she's going to do? Or do you vote for the guy who might do anything? That's Trump. You never know what you're going to get. Take Thursday when he candidly showed a kinder, gentler side.
Sometimes, in the heat of debate, and speaking on a multitude of issues, you don't choose the right words, or you say the wrong thing. I have done that. And believe it or not, I regret it.
Oh, as a man, we've all been there. But it's interesting. Mr. Hyde became Mr. Dr. Jekyll. Goofus became Gallant. Laverne became Shirley. How long will this last? Who knows? We've been down this path before. There's good Donald, then bad Donald. This campaign has more ups and downs than Charlie Sheen on a seesaw. His campaign staff, they're like Nickelback. No harmony. Ooh. And now his manager just resigned. Manafort, more like man over fort. That's it for tonight. Had a great show, leaving on a terrible pun. All right, Joey, I'm going to go to you first because you've been there and you came back alive.
Mostly.
Yes, mostly. Well, I would say.
Most of me came back.
Yes.
Somebody's hitting soccer balls with my legs over there right now.
Terrible. Yeah. Hey, he can say these jokes. What do you make of Hillary saying taking ground troops off the table?
The only thing off the table with this strategy is winning or defeating ISIS or anything productive. However, my brothers and sisters will still die.
Yeah.
And so everybody, that sucks. You know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these men and women that are serving right now signed up to go kill evil. The least we can do is let them do it. And there's plenty of evil to be killed. So, you know, I served in Afghanistan in 2010 while President Obama sent 30,000 more of us and decided to bring us all back home. So I saw all my guys get killed and wounded on a strategy to come back home and not actually do anything. So I hope we don't go down this road again.
Yeah. What do you say, Kennedy, about telling people what you're going to do? This also, we did this before. We said when we were leaving Afghanistan, why do we do this? We're the only country who does this.
No, it's true. And I think the United States benefits from a level of transparency in the conversations we have about national security without revealing,
yes,
critical secrets.
Yes.
And I think obviously every rational person knows that. But just like the Clinton campaign has accused Donald Trump of benefiting from Russian hackery, and somehow the Russian state is bankrolling Donald Trump's campaign by proxy, I think you could make the same claim about ISIS.
Right.
So if they're sitting there watching Hillary Clinton go, no boots on the ground, we're not sending everyone over, I destroyed Libya, I'm a total warmonger, and I love seeing other people die. However, it's not going to happen here, and they're going to be like, we're going to take out 1 million kidneys, and we're going to sell them, and we're going to take all the money and put it into the Clinton Foundation because she's great.
Oh. Tyrus, as a professional wrestler, I mean,
yes,
your opponent
wrestling.
never knows what's going to happen.
No, he doesn't if he's in the ring with me. But this isn't even about it. It's a soundbite because for a long time when heroes like him are out there fighting, people who are sitting on the couch are like, we need to bring our troops home, and it was, I can get elected if I say I'm going to bring everybody home, because instead of just being honest and saying what you really have to do, and it's on both sides of this election. I'm so over both of them talking. It's disgusting. Somebody in her staff told her, if you say we won't put our troops on the ground, they're going to vote for you.
Yeah.
They're going to like you because you care about our troops instead of telling the damn truth.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like what she said, like I said, she never goes off script anyways. You know, she's like Ron Burgundy. She always reads whatever on the teleprompter. And it's just disheartening.
Rhonda Burgundy.
Yes. Yes, whatever she wants to be, it's her right.
Yes.
But it's sad. It's sad, and like I said, I'm on the fence with both of them because when they both talk, I watch Murder, She Wrote.
Yes.
So.
Well, Angela Lansbury is an American treasure. Guy and Kat, I don't know if we should do we want to continue talking about this, or shall we move on to the Trump stuff? I asked Guy, what would you
Well, I would just say on this particular issue, I wonder what it feels like to be one of the 4,600 or so American soldiers with boots on the ground in Iraq right now.
Absolutely.
When you hear the presidential candidate saying that's off the table, it's not literally not off the table.
Yeah.
They are there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, with many things, but in this included, I don't believe her.
Yeah.
If we have a few more Orlandos, God forbid, things get worse, public opinion continues to shift.
She gets some money from somewhere where she has to change her mind.
They'll have a focus group, they'll poll it, and we'll have boots on the ground. This is not a principled thing from her, because almost nothing is a principled thing from her.
Kat, you disagree with that. You think she's a wonderful person.
I do. Yeah, I'm actually secretly working for her.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You're with her?
I'm with her. Well, I'm a girl, so I have to be, right?
Yes.
So otherwise I hate myself. Yeah,
Well, that part's true.
well, I do hate myself, but it's totally unrelated to me
wait a minute,
being
you get
sexist
2
against
checks?
myself. What?
You get like 2 checks and stuff?
I don't know what that
You
means.
get like 2 jobs, so you get like 2. Is she?
Oh, is she paying me? Yeah, she's paying me with her Benghazi money.
All right. Kat, I want to talk to you about Trump.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about Manafort. Manafort, is that his name? He's gone.
Right.
Is this going to change him, make him better with Bannon coming in?
I've heard the word pivot all day today
Yes.
because he was like good and nice for one night. Okay, so I've learned if someone's good and nice for one night and you run around being like, he's changed, he said he was sorry, you're always going to be disappointed. That's always true. And I think it's getting rid of Manafort. That he handled this a lot differently than he did Corey Lewandowski.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting that he was the guy brought on to help him stay on message, and then he wound up being such a distraction that the only way they'd be able to stay on message is to get rid of the guy who was supposed to help them stay on message. So that's a little awkward.
It is insane in the membrane, this campaign.
What?
Yes. I don't even know why I said that.
Be real.
I know. But it's weird. It's like they want him to be himself, but being himself often is conspiratorial.
Nobody should ever be anyone's total full self.
I'm never myself.
We're all a bunch of nightmares. Nobody wants to know anyone's real
been
self.
living a lie my whole life.
That's actually when he gets into the most trouble.
Yes.
Is when, and he's very interesting and funny when he has press conferences, but that's also when he makes these asides that completely take over the news cycle for days at a time. And we've seen this happen with him. Like, he'll have a good foreign policy speech, national security speech, a good speech on the economy, and then the next day it's, Barack Obama is the founder of ISIS, and then, Manafort is resigning, and you just want to say, like, hold off a couple days on, put some space between what you do well and how you completely torpedo your campaign.
He walked that back. He now says he's the co-founder.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really Joey, who do you think? Who would you want to be in charge of our military if you looked at the two of them?
General James Mattis.
Yes.
Write that one in.
Yes.
This is really tough. It's the toughest thing I'll decide. Besides, aisle seat or window on the way home tomorrow. What do you have to go off of? I truly think, if you go to 1996, Hillary was about as conservative as most Republicans in Congress. So I think she has some things in her brain there that could steer her right. And I've heard everything from the stuff in Libya was because we were secretly running guns, and there's some thing there. But with Hillary, what started this whole thing about troops on the ground or off the table is because 2 years ago, the narrative was, well, America's just tired of being at war.
Right.
It's like, well, that's cool, but America doesn't get to be tired of being at war until ISIS is tired of being at war. We don't get to make that choice.
Good point.
And so I don't know that either one of them are going to let us in and to know that. Right now, it's all about winning the election.
But to that point, very quickly, we're not really at war. We're having, these proxy wars and these languishing conflicts.
We're fighting and we're dying. We're not establishing goals that we're trying to achieve in combat. So it's two different things. We're absolutely at war. We're not achieving any objectives by doing so.
But there are generals, there are people in charge at the Pentagon who certainly have a strategy, but this administration will not allow them to employ what they know would be.
I'm beginning to feel like this is the Kennedy show.
Not at all, Greg.
And I'm just so deep. I'm kidding. I just want to get last word into Tyrus and Guy. Tyrus, you're shaking your head like a man with a shaky head.
Because when his speeches, I would just prefer him to do like old movies. Like if he would just come out and be Scarface, like I tell the truth even when I lie. Just entertain me. You know what I'm saying? Say goodnight to the bad guy. I tell you that much. He might as well just be that guy.
Do you think this change is actually legitimate, or is Bad Donald going to return?
Of course he'll return. He always returns, often with a vengeance. The only thing, though, I will give him credit. It was the best speech I've seen from him in North Carolina. I agree. Kellyanne Conway and perhaps some others had a hand in that.
Yes.
Manafort had to go, and the one thing I would say is, if Donald Trump, he talks about extreme vetting, which I'm in favor of. If he had extremely vetted his top campaign staff, Paul Manafort would have never been hired in the first place.
It's not the campaign. It's not Jim Henson pulling the strings. This Muppet's got no strings. He just acts a fool and says whatever he wants to say, and then the guys in the back are like,
And on that note,
I resign.
You resign. Get out of here. Okay, up next, I age approximately 2 minutes. But first, looks like Ryan's been lying. Olympians in hot water for a change. I have a theory. Nothing good ever happens when you lie to your mother. Ryan Lochte has apologized for his behavior for not being candid about what happened at a Brazilian gas station last week. It all started when Lochte told his mom that he and his swimming buddies were robbed and someone put a gun to his head. His mom goes and tells a reporter, "Thanks, Mom," and it becomes a big deal. Until Brazilian police said, no, that's not the whole story, and released some tapes. Here's Ryan and his fellow fish at the gas station bathroom, my usual haunt, where police say they vandalized the John and were intoxicated. Those details, if true, weren't revealed by Ryan originally. Police said security guards used the guns to control the athletes and took money to cover the cost of the bathroom damage. I've been there too. Lion Ryan's sticking to the story that someone pointed a gun at him and demanded money. Was it robbery? Was it a shakedown? Was it a language barrier? I don't know. But I know this. Tell your mother the whole truth, because Mom's proud of you and she's gonna talk. All right. All right. Quickly, start with you, Guy. What do you think happened?
I have no idea what actually happened. I think the more believable lie here would be this dye job was done at gunpoint. Because people would have said, all right, that checks out. That sounds about right.
Kat, what do you think? I don't watch the Olympics because there are too many young, beautiful people. That depresses me. I prefer to work in cable news. In Olympics, I would be a 1, but in cable news, I'm like a 7. But anyway, that wasn't the question. Yes.
No, look, it was bad, but it was not as bad as Michael Phelps because they were drunk and they vandalized something and then they made false accusations and embarrassed the country. But Michael Phelps was on the weed.
Yes.
And we all know how much that hurts people.
Yeah, weed
Way
is bad.
more. Yeah.
Drunken, urinating in public, that's
No,
okay.
The weed, though,
Yeah.
ruins not just your life, but everyone's life.
Yes. Joey, thoughts?
Listen, Ryan Lochte is the kind of bro that makes ruggedly handsome 30-year-olds like myself look horrible.
Yes.
You know, but what we do know is that Ryan's mom came out with this first, and if he were good at lying at all, it would be a cover-up to protect his mom. You know, if his mom's like mine, she's going to make it up along the way anyway.
That's true.
And then what kind of sweetheart would he be?
Yeah, that is so true. Kennedy, you do feel bad for Ryan?
I don't feel bad for him at all. I'm very resentful toward him because this has been. I'm a patriot, people. You know, it's like it's hard being this.
That's how you get applause on this show.
Yeah.
Cheap attempt at applause by Kennedy.
But I love this country so much. I love the Olympics, and I love seeing Team USA do stunningly well at so many events, including wrestling and gymnastics and decathlon and the 100-meter hurdles, where the U.S. swept the podium and the women's event. And there are so many incredible accomplishments that I hope people take away from this. Michael Phelps, Katie Ledecky, and Simone Biles. Like, I really hope people remember that and not the epitome is Ryan Lochte.
All right. Very good. Tyrus, you're shaking your head. You're getting angry.
I'm so disgusted. First of all, your mom tells on you to the press. What is the world coming to? This is moments where I'm glad I didn't have parents, because that is disgusting. Hey, Mom, this happened. Oh, really? Hold on. He's not even safe in your home. And above that, listen, I grew up in California, and me and my buddies, oh, hey, how'd you get here? And me and my buddies would go down to a little place called Tijuana on the weekends.
Oh. Right.
Robbery's an ugly word in Brazil. It's also an ugly word in Tijuana. They prefer extortion. So here's what happens. I went through this. I walked out. They pull guns on you, let you know this is not a drill.
Yeah.
And of course, for all those who ever had guns pulled on, we're going to freeze.
Yeah.
You got 3 young guys who've been drinking who don't want to get in trouble. They have a ton of things to lose, and they say, listen, we're going to take you down to process you. You're going to be in the paper because you defamed our bathroom, which just happened to be a national treasure.
Yes.
And if you settle out of court right now for, say, how much you have in your wallet, we can let you go.
Yeah.
That's robbery. And then the police were like, well, it's not robbery. They gave money to guys with guns, no matter how they're dressed. It's robbery. If you want to be cool about it, we'll call it hashtag extortion, hashtag mama has a big mouth, hashtag Olympics should have never been in Brazil anyway.
Yes. All right. I want to move on to another Olympic story briefly, but it's interesting. Everybody gets a trophy was applied to countries, and that's how Brazil got the Olympics, I believe. Now, I wanted to share with you the one Olympic story that no one is talking about, and probably for very good reason. It involves race walking and soiling your shorts.
Oh.
I know. French race walker Johan Diniz placed 8th in Rio, but did so after apparently pooping his pants during the race and later collapsing. But he's a hero! See, this is why I'm doing this story. He persevered and finished the 50-kilometer race walk. That is the true definition of commitment, and he is my hero. All right. Yeah. I knew that would silence you. All right.
In Brazil, what do you expect? You probably ate the food or drank the water.
Oh, Tyrus. Anyway, coming up, we find something awful about society, then blame Obama. It's what we do. Are strong men a thing of the past? I blame Obama. Is the future looking bleaker because men are getting weaker? A new study conducted by the Journal of Hand Therapy. I've been their centerfold 3 months in a row now. I got great knuckles. They find that millennial men have weaker hands and arms than men the same age from 30 years ago, back in 1985, when men used to be men and I wore 2 pairs of underwear. The average man's grip strength generated 117 pounds of force, but today's man can only squeeze with the force of 98 pounds. We went to one of those men for comment.
Punch him.
You want to punch everybody, Tyrus.
Oh, that's true.
How do you feel about this? Are men getting weaker?
Well, not this one.
No.
It's ironic. I got my Hard Knock South shirt on. It's the 2-ton club you have to lift to be a part of this. So
2 tons of what?
Weight.
How much does that weigh?
You know
Greg,
what?
stop
There's
it.
not enough people to get me out. This has been a rough week between the stuff in Brazil and apparently now I'm weaker than some dad that I never knew. I don't think so. We're strong. We just specialize now. It's
Yes.
different.
Okay.
People in the old days, they had to like do physical things to get things done. Now you download it, order it, or have your mommy do it for you. So it's, of course, they're weaker. But I still crush apples
like,
with my
crab
hand.
walk around, and now we have Uber, so that's why, right? As I understand it. But you know what? I don't really like strong men.
No? Why?
I like
We don't like you
physically.
either.
I like skinny. I like my men like very skinny and even more sad.
Really?
So hot.
Is that possible?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
know her.
Well, in New York, I think it's true.
Can I just say, as a bit of a contrarian, I think this is a fine thing because just because we don't have a generation of men that, you know, they may not be miners and plumbers, which are very valiant and wonderful careers, they're entrepreneurs. I mean, it shows that we are a tertiary society.
Yeah, we're not building railroads anymore.
Yeah, and that's fine.
But-
if you're running a company and you're so damn busy making $1 billion that you don't have time to do CrossFit, I'm good with it.
No, but you know what? I think that our weakness is a sign of the great achievement of our forefathers, that they fought the wars and did all the hard work. So I can sit around looking at German art films on the internet. Yeah.
No.
When I read the story, I really thought it was, you know, a generation of Trump hands to get more voters out.
Oh,
You know, I thought
yeah.
and I'm down to 9 fingers myself, and as the son of a brick mason, you know, it's important to me to have some grip strength. I mean, I think everyone should sit down at about 15 and watch Over the Top.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Sylvester Stallone teach a 9-year-old
Fly?
Shot
how to
in
kill
Seattle,
it.
Washington.
Yeah, exactly. And,
I forgot about that movie. God.
Can I just chime in as the weakest person on this couch?
You're even putting yourself below Kat.
I was gonna say. let's
Probably.
do it.
I thought about maybe challenging her to like arm wrestling, but it would end in abject embarrassment
I love
for
doing
me,
this.
I
I
think.
don't know why.
Yeah, that's
Because it creeps everybody else out.
Yeah,
Somebody
that's
feed her.
Thank you. I've never heard that.
Guy?
No, I just wanted to point out that I'm the weakest person on the couch, and frankly, this entire discussion is sort of a microaggression, and
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
young men don't do well with those, so
Yeah.
we can move on.
You know what I think this is? It's like the time machine. Remember the H.G. Wells short story? We're moving towards a place where technology will become more and more sophisticated and smarter, and human beings will become blobs in boxes that
Yes.
just sense things and do nothing.
And
Sounds
we'll
great.
have sex robots.
Yeah, if there's an alien ship out there, just come get me, because I'm not trading
They
in
would-
my swoles for nobody. So
I don't know. I think that it's easy to make fun of millennial men, and I think it's becoming too easy, and I don't think it's fair. There's plenty of men. It's probably no different, except we're just doing different things.
It is weird though, because in the Marine Corps, you know, we stayed in the gym all the time, and you know that's all we did besides make out with each other. But there's always that guy that's like 10 years older than everyone. He's got a beer belly. He's never at PT, and he has old man strength. Like he can just do anything.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're lifting dumbbells, you just can't catch up. So it is
But
interesting.
those strongest
Old
men
man
in the
strength.
world contest, they're always won by guys who have a gut.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why are we studying people's hand strength?
Well,
That's what I want to know.
why? What's wrong with that?
Why? What's right with it?
Hugh Hefner is dead, set against leaving the Playboy Mansion. Even after the old stinky mansion has been sold, we dive deep into his diseased grotto. Next. There's a home for bunnies worth all that money. The Playboy Mansion, that decayed, haunted carcass for zombie swingers and diseased turtlenecks, sold for $100 million this week, making it the most expensive pile of ever sold in Los Angeles. $100 million, that's almost $1 million per square stain. The buyer was Hugh Hefner's neighbor, who plans to combine the properties, though Hefner, who's 90 years young, will remain at the home for the remainder of his lifetime, which could be another 90 depending on the condition of his freezer. Now, Hef couldn't make it tonight, but we got someone who's seen more wild parties than anyone. Joining us now, the world-famous Playboy Mansion Grotto. Now, Grotto, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Hey, Greg. Excuse me. Just...
Doesn't sound like the Grotto is feeling too well. No surprise after what's been done there. Just talk to Bill Maher. Anyway.
Shot. Fired.
Tyrus.
Yes.
I have a theory that the Playboy Mansion is like the picture of Dorian Gray, that while Hugh tried to remain young, the mansion just became more and more decrepit, and he couldn't. It's the one thing he couldn't keep up.
And the fact that it's the house of the most depressed, ruined lives ever. I've been there
he's
3
gonna
times.
die in it.
I've been there 3 times when I was bodyguarding for Snoop, and every time I went there, I literally showered more times than the Crying Game. It was absolutely terrible. It is and the fact that it's like you watched the Shining movie and then you bought it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing but broken heart and dead souls in there. And that's just the women that left alive. You know what I'm saying?
It's not you know what, Kennedy? I always felt that it was a fake brand that was sold to people when in fact it was something that should have left in 1970.
Yeah, like Studio 54.
Right.
I mean, it's not still open. Let go of the dream. I mean, the nice thing is there were so many people more infected than the outbreak monkey in the grotto and the hot tub and the putrid waters that it actually contains the cure for Ebola and Zika.
I had no idea.
In that magical.
It's a Hefner Labs. It's the Hefner Labs. Joey, are you sad to see this?
Okay, so as a cute little wounded hero like myself, I get to go do a lot of cool things. People invite me. So I went to the Playboy Mansion last year. And it was like going to Disney World as a dad. It was the most disappointing thing ever. There are no bunnies. Crystal Hefner was amazing. Hugh was upstairs on life support. It wasn't that great.
Yeah.
The grotto is as nasty as the jokes make it sound. It's probably the only water dirtier than the pools in Rio. I wouldn't waterboard ISIS with that water. It's that bad.
Yeah, but did you see the guy who bought it? It kind of makes perfect sense when you look at him, doesn't it?
Well, I didn't see a picture of him, but I know that he owns part of Hostess. He just wants to tear it down.
The picture makes sense.
He's turning the entire thing into a sport court.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't do that, Guy?
Well, I think that perhaps this was a straw purchase on behalf of a very talented, well-known real estate developer who might make the Playboy Mansion great again when he has some free time in like November or December.
I'm confused, right? You said Hostess?
Yeah, Hostess was in cupcakes.
So like the guy with Twinkies is going to be in the Playboy Mansion.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. The Hostess bought the bunnies.
Two things that
Wouldn't it be
age
funny
very bad.
if Donald Trump, to Guy's point, took all of the campaign donations that he's got this entire, didn't spend them on ads or redirecting the narrative or defeating Hillary Clinton. He just wanted to buy the Playboy Mansion.
Just kidding, just kidding. I'm buying the mansion. It's going to be so terrific, believe me. All the diseases, the classiest diseases.
Well done.
Wait, you can't get a disease from like a carpet, can you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, actually you can.
I won't tell you.
Tell her.
Yeah.
And
Honey,
it really
it's the carpet.
it's stuck in 1980. Like all the technology, the TVs, and what was creepy sex is now Hugh has people over like once a week and they watch movies on old equipment.
Right.
And it's like, it's just as creepy. It's just not sex anymore, so it's not exciting.
Yeah,
It's gonna make me cry.
But it always was, the one thing that he created a cultish deception. He decided that like he would become a cult figure under the guise of empowerment to women. Like if you have like from the 1950s on, if you have sex with me, it's a sign of empowerment. That's what he did. It's almost brilliant, but it's now he's clinging because it's over, right?
It's
kind of depressing.
Yeah.
All right. I love the Playboy Mansion. Coming up. So what's upsetting college kids these days? The answer rhymes with everything. The University of California in Davis is warning students to avoid using the phrase, "you guys." It's from a guide titled Words That Hurt, and it's found on their website. I urge you not to look at it. It claims those words, quote, erase the identities of people who are in the room, generalizing a group of people to be masculine. It's true. The guide published by the school's LGBT Resource Center is a reminder to students that sometimes we say words without realizing the impact they may have on others. Other phrases to avoid include lame, crazy, and dumb.
Oh.
Clearly, this needed some real-world testing, so our very own Kat Timpf investigates in the latest edition of
guys. Hi. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Okay, are you offended that I just called you guys?
No.
No? All right, really? All right, that's it. Hey, you guys, do you want to answer a couple questions?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. Are you really mad that I just called you guys?
I don't really care.
Are you just saying that because there's men watching and you're afraid you can't talk about how you really feel, and we live in an oppressive patriarchy, and you don't want to lose out on anything because you dare to speak about how you really feel as a woman?
No, I'm definitely a feminist wholeheartedly. I just don't mind when someone says, hey guys.
Hey guys, do you want to answer some questions? Are you offended that I called you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, you are?
Yes, of course.
So do you have a problem with calling a group of people you guys?
No.
All right, that's it. That's it. So, the Goonies, you think it's okay that he says, hey, you guys, in a movie and children watch it?
That's a great movie.
But is it for children when there's something like, hey, you guys in there?
Totally, yeah. Why not?
Because it's hurting people. UC Davis saying you shouldn't say, hey, guys, you shouldn't say crazy, you shouldn't say lame. What do you think about that?
That's lame.
Yeah, I think so. If you can't say lame, how do you describe every other movie except Happy Gilmore?
Lame.
I do too.
The words crazy and lame.
Yeah.
No.
The movie Crazy Stupid Love is very offensive.
No, I haven't seen it
You
either.
don't find it offensive? Ryan Gosling takes his shirt off a lot. That's really offensive to take off your shirt a lot, right?
Yeah, definitely. I hate when people take that.
Sickening. So like if a guy tells me, I'm crazy about you, I should say, that's unacceptable. You're insensitive to the mentally ill community. Get out of my life.
No. I don't know about all that,
I made a mistake.
I really enjoyed the way they use the theme from the Newlywed Game while you're doing these interviews. That's that weird horn. Is this happening elsewhere, Kat?
Yeah, University of Northern Colorado, University of Michigan, Macalester College. It's everywhere, and they're just talking about it. And these students, there's like these campaigns that are at different colleges all around the country. But in the real world, nobody gives a
Oh.
Absolutely nobody does.
Kennedy, thoughts?
No, I think it would be a wonderful social experiment for everyone in their 30s or 40s who's contrarian or conservative to go back to college, especially when they don't care about a GPA, just to violate all of these rules.
Absolutely.
How much fun would it be to just walk around the campus going, you guys, this is so crazy. How lame am I right now? Make America great again. Go Trump.
Yeah.
I think the entire campus would
People
vaporize.
just fainting all around.
Ah!
Cyrus?
Well, first of all, you have to pay for that. Like,
Yeah.
You have to get a scholarship
Yeah.
for that. What am I going to say then?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, those words are put in place so you don't say the cuss words. So
Yeah.
You say men,
just
women,
don't talk
and
to
people of
nobody.
other
Just when
identities.
people walk up to me, just
That's true. Joe, we're going to evolve towards people who just don't speak.
Listen, I would like to take this one and run with it, but I'm afraid I might put my foot in my mouth, and I really don't have a leg to stand on. So, I mean, come on, I listen to this stuff every day. I think it's hilarious. Like, you know how amazing it is when someone says something like that, and I get to catch them at it,
Yeah.
like real quick, you know? Like, I would never be offended by someone making a joke about legs, or using a colloquial saying that we use all the time, and I think that's the right word.
I think it is.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I mean, and if it were reversed, and you called guys girls, in a derogatory way, they're gonna giggle, right? And like punch you in the arm.
That's what
I'm not
happens.
a girl.
That happens in a lot of sports teams I was cut from.
Yeah.
But wait,
times have changed because when I was in, hey girls, let's go, ladies. I mean,
Exactly,
I
yeah.
would call my high school head coach and be like, you wronged us.
Yes, I deserve some kind of payment. The thing that's the most offensive person here is Guy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, don't. Please don't call me that. It's problematic. It's heteronormative.
Yes.
Shame on you. Shame.
I'm sorry.
You're going to hear from my lawyers.
I hope so. What is your middle name?
Pelham.
Pelham? Your middle name is Pelham?
Sue your parents.
Which, by the way, is French for guy.
Name.
Is it French for Guy? No, that's from the movie, the Subway movie.
Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. There's
One
one fan.
One fan. It's always nice when
All
one
right.
fan comes.
It is. It's a great movie. Well, that was the opposite of not fun. Our final thoughts next. Hey, we're almost out of time, so...
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Tyrus.
Yo, my final thought, man, I want to give a shout out to the state of Louisiana. The great flood that's hit there, you know, it was worse than it, right up there with Hurricane Sandy. And the government, I think, has been a little slow in getting there. And I live out there, so I've been on the road doing a movie and stuff, so I haven't seen a lot of the damage and stuff. But then before that, Louisiana was getting hit a lot with a lot of racial issues and the police shootings and all that kind of stuff. But the Cajun Navy is basically locals with boats who jumped up during the flood to help everybody out. And it was not just them, but I mean, everyday normal people in other parishes and stuff who weren't getting flooded, they really united as a community. And no one was, you know, there was no Black Lives Matter boat, and there wasn't no Trump boat, and there wasn't no Clinton Foundation boat. It was regular, everyday people. Didn't care what color you were, didn't care, you know, whatever your mindset was. They helped everybody. They're helping everybody. You know, people at home, donate, do whatever you have to do, because it's the flood is, a lot of people lost their homes, like over 40,000 homes and stuff. Yeah. And my hat's off to the people of Louisiana who showed that it's not, when real bad things happen, people unite, and it's not a color thing, it's a human thing, and there's still human beings in this country, and I think that's great.
I would agree with that. Kennedy?
I didn't know that we were getting all important and sensitive and thoughtful toward other people. I was just going to say, there was a report that came out this week that said flossing doesn't do much for you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that I'm still an advocate of flossing.
I know what you mean.
And rubber tipping and tongue scraping. So, you know, even when you hear something, you don't necessarily have to follow every single study like lemmings. So
yes. Flossing's fun, too, if you share. Joey.
So this week, a movie called Range 15 made its way onto iTunes and Amazon. This is the first movie of its kind. It was completely written, produced, starred and directed by veterans. And guys like William Shatner, Danny Trejo, real A-list, talented people. Sean Astin are a part of it. And those guys, exactly. Rudy. And so, you know, and but anyway, they let me be a part of it, and they went straight to number 2 on iTunes. And this is an independent film, crowd-funded. So go download it. It will completely offend you. You'll see me for 3 seconds. I'm the guy with the robot legs. It's really cool.
God.
This election season has gotten me down. It's been a lot of ups and mostly downs. It's depressing on a number of levels, but 2 weeks from today, college football is back.
Yes!
I'm so delighted. Go Cats. That's all I got.
Go Bruins!
All right. Last word to Cats.
I've never changed a light bulb because I've always had my roommates do it. Now I don't have roommates, and my apartment's really dark, and I think I have to move.
Okay, I think that's the best thing you can do. Thanks to Tyrus, Kennedy, Staff Sergeant Joey Jones, Guy Benson, Catherine, and our studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld, and I love you, America.